results on the table. This shows that the results have shown that Gujarat is a landslide victory for BJP, and in Himachal, Congress has clawed back to power almost. Given this scenario, we will look at what these results imply and which way these parties or the stakeholders are headed as we move towards Lok Sabha elections in another 1.5 years' time. We have with us guests from the Economic Times, journalists who have traveled extensively to these two poll-bound states. We have Rakesh Mohan Chaturvedi, who has traveled in Himachal and has been tracking BJP for a long while. We have Nidhi Sharma, who traveled to Saurashtra and some other parts of Gujarat. We have Vasudha Venugopal, who went to North Gujarat. And we have Kumar Anshuman, who has traveled to both the poll-bound states, Gujarat and Himachal. Before we come to Gujarat elections, which has huge message for the BJP and other parties as well, we will take a look at Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh, Rakesh, we see BJP almost down by 10 or more odd seats. The gap between Congress and BJP is over 10 seats. Mm-hmm. How do you see, why do you think this has happened? Why do you think this kind of a verdict has come?
Yeah, so the trend of in Himachal of voting out the incumbent has continued this time, and Congress fought this election well. The difference between the votes of the Congress and BJP in 2017 was 7%. This time, of course, the vote percentage is almost the same, a difference of only at 43.6. Congress is only 0.3% ahead of BJP, but the seat difference is, it's safe for the Congress to. It's safe to say that the Congress is going to form the government this time. It's leading on 39 seats. BJP is on 26, and of course, this was a direct contest with Aam Aadmi Party nowhere to be seen. So there are three independents who are likely to win. And
but do you think it has happened probably also because of the fact that the rebels were a key
so there were 21 rebels, BJP rebels who were in the fray, and they seem to have damaged the party's prospects. Also, the manifesto of the Congress seems to have influence the voters.
This is exactly where I would like to come to Anshuman. Anshuman had a few interesting things to say as we were getting into this session. Anshuman, what do you think have been the key factors which made Congress come back with such a powerful, in Himachal Pradesh kind of state, this kind of a gap or this kind of a win is a fairly powerful win. So how do you think Congress managed this time?
Let's look at the vote share which both the parties got in 2017, as Rakesh rightly said. BJP had secured a vote percentage of 49%, winning 44 seats in 2017. Congress vote share was somewhere around 41% with 22 seats. Now this time, BJP has come down from 49% to near about 43%, and Congress has increased its vote share, marginal increase, say 1.5% or 2%, from 41% to 43%, nearing 44%. And in this gap, Congress has managed to win 60, or is going to win 16 to 17 more seats. There was an anti-incumbency against the BJP government there in the state, and there are 2-3 factors which worked, which helped Congress gaining majority in the state, or if the Congress gains majority. The first one was old pension scheme. I think this is the first state in the entire country where old pension scheme was a really big issue. It was talk of the town. You talk everywhere. Everyone was talking about old pension scheme. So that was one thing. Even BJP was forced to say that we have formed a committee to look into old pension schemes, and going forward we can take a discussion on old pension scheme. So that is something that helped the Congress in a small state like Himachal Pradesh, where there are 1.5 lakh government employees. The second issue was jobs, the government jobs. Himachal being a hilly state, there's not much infrastructure, there's not much industry parting in some parts in Bhatti and other places. So people largely depend on government jobs. And there was a remarkable cut down from the government. Government jobs were not coming, exam papers were getting leaked. Third was, I would like to mention Agniveer. Most of the families have,
Yes.
they prefer their children to serve the army. So Agniveer was also a major deterrent for those youngsters who were eyeing for a government job in those days. So this was an important factor which also helped Congress in Himachal Pradesh. The third factor was the unhappiness of apple farmers. The GST increased, GST over packaging of apple, and all those kind of things. Government subsidy withdrawal on apple farming and things like that, which the margins of farmers had come down this year drastically. What I spoke to certain farmers in Solan and Shimla, and they said that last year they were able to make 8 to 9 lakh rupees. This year it was limited to 3 to 4 lakhs. So these three factors really helped Congress in gaining majority if the party wins those number of seats. The voting percentage gap, you see, Congress could not build momentum. One thing you'll have to give it to the BJP, that the party has a grassroots cadre base, has an exceptional management system, and it manages to get certain amount of votes. So that you can see here. Congress could not capitalize on the anti-incumbency variable. Otherwise, you could have seen this difference going higher.
I think this is where I would like to come to Rakesh, because Rakesh, considering the fact that the BJP national president is from Himachal Pradesh, yes, on one side there is a huge win in Gujarat. We will talk about that later. But BJP, the world's biggest party, has its president from Himachal Pradesh, and the national president's home state, BJP, is losing power. How do you look at it? What could happen going forward?
Yeah, so BJP is a cadre-based party where you have to perform to survive, and it is a bit of an embarrassment for the BJP that the state from which the party president hails from, it's not doing well. But then the trend has always been in Himachal that the incumbent is voted out, except of course Veerbhadra Singh had changed this trend once in recent times. And among the factors that Anshuman was talking about, the absence of Veerbhadra Singh, BJP thought that will bring gains to it because there was no visible face in the Congress. But then the sympathy factor for the Congress, for the Veerbhadra Singh's family has worked, and of course the old pension scheme and other factors.
Himachal is a state which looks heavily at possibilities of government jobs and the pensions from there.
Yeah,
and also certain bit of farming, and these are probably the only two reliable sources of livelihood.
Yeah, BJP tried to, so Himachal is also a state where Narendra Modi has worked as a party karyakarta for many years, and he has that connect with the people. But then the voters also know that Modi is not going to be the chief minister. So these factors have gone against the BJP. BJP also tried to sell this thing of, building new industry. They had an investor summit, and AIMS has come up in Bilaspur.
Yes.
So these things were sold to the electorate, but then it has not really worked.
It reminds me of something which happened in Rajasthan 5 years back, when they said, Modi tujhse bair nahi, Vasudha teri khair nahi. Here it is Jairam teri khair nahi.
But Jairam doesn't have much of anti-incumbency against him. There is no hatred as such. But then he is not a charismatic leader, and he, that it's lackluster in a way.
He is not. He doesn't seem to be the guy who is in charge of things.
Who can enthuse. And plus, see, again, the state has a lot of other big leaders. Prem Kumar Dhumal is there. His son Anurag Thakur is there, and then of course JP Nadda is there. Modi himself knows Himachal Pradesh like the back of his hand. So all these factors, and again, but then see, these things were also pulling the party in different directions. In ticket distribution, the party had major issues. It did not declare candidates for 8 seats in the first CEC meeting, mainly because all these leaders wanted their people to get the tickets.
It is said that Anurag Thakur and the conflict between Anurag Thakur and Jairam Thakur was probably also
basically
going to hurt the parties.
Yeah, then Shanta Kumar is also there. So all these leaders, trying to hold their turf. They're also from different parts of Himachal. So they want their supporters to get the ticket. Plus, of course, the rebels. Then BJP had had denied ticket to 11 sitting MLAs. Many of the MLAs were shifted from their seat to and made to contest from another constituency. That was primarily for two reasons: one, to beat anti-incumbency, and also to prevent them from becoming rebels.
This is where I think I'll ask. It's a question which either you or Anshuman can answer. The choice is yours. Does anybody feel that BJP trying to take the whole of AAP into its fold? Has it hurt BJP?
Yeah, I don't think that was a very, in retrospect, or even after it had happened. I mean, the Aam Aadmi Party state unit president himself moved to the BJP. So that, had it been a triangular fight, maybe today BJP would have been in a position to at least be near the majority mark.
Yeah.
So that actually hurt.
Yeah. Moving on to Gujarat, the big landslide victory of BJP, probably an unprecedented victory, because the highest ever mandate that any party had got before this was 149.
Yeah, that was 1985 under Madhav Singh Solanki.
Madhav Singh Solanki. Yeah. And this time it's almost 154 and still counting. I think we would first go to Nidhi to find out. Nidhi, what is it that you think has been your readings when you were traveling in the state? Do you really could sense something like this was on the cards?
Honestly, the voter didn't, at all tell us anything about this kind of a landslide. The real picture they gave us was, that there's a lot of anti-incumbency. But when you really see the trends right now, when the seat tallies are coming, it's very evident that the voter really differentiated between, voting for Narendra Modi and dealing with their BJP candidate, BJP MLA. So they really differentiated, and I think ultimately they couldn't bring themselves to vote against Narendra Modi at the center. So he's their man, and that Gujarati Asmita factor really working for the BJP is what we see, ultimately.
I think, thanks Nidhi for that. I think I'll like to ask Vasudha. Vasudha, do you really think it has been, AAP has been able to eat up on some kind of opposition vote, or is it an anger against Congress because of which people decided that we have to live with BJP and hence this kind of a mandate? Because last time was 49%, this time it's 53% and still counting. So 53% of vote share almost means what Amit Shah had said, that 50% की लड़ाई लड़ने को तैयार हैं हम. Your take on that?
Well, I'll just like to point out this one thing, that when it comes to Gujarat, the vote share is very tricky because BJP wins by almost 35 to 45,000 votes in the urban areas. So a lot of their vote share comes from that, but it's actually not of much use to them. But this time, if you look at the margins, they've been very definitive. So what I think has worked for the BJP, and I'm sure Rakesh and Anshuman will also agree with this, that it is this aggressive campaign and the lessons that they learned from 2017. Because 2017, I remember, it was the same month in, 5 years ago, nothing was sure till now, because it just seemed Congress was something between 75 and 77 and BJP was somewhere between 92 to 99. It was so nail-biting. And just within 5 years, we are talking about record high victory now. So I think what really worked for the BJP is this dominant feature of Narendra Modi. 31 rallies, he managed to sort of cover every district, and this extensive election management that was put together by C.R. Patil and Amit Shah, which was very expansive. It was not limited because it did not take its own voters for granted. Like in the sense that, like Nidhi is saying, there was anti-incumbency on ground. I witnessed it. I'm sure all reporters witnessed it. But you have to see the way Narendra Modi campaigns in Gujarat. He will go tell the villagers who have still not gotten water of Narmadas, कि मारू नाम मोदी छे, मोदी एटले delivery, like I will deliver it, I will never go back on my word, and you'll have to trust me on that. Then he will start talking about local delicacies. He will start talking about what he saw. He will talk about this jeera and soft that is grown in Mehsana, and about how Patan became like this, like city of Melas, the town of Melas.
Yeah.
So there was this immense emotional connect that people of Gujarat have with Narendra Modi. It is their Modi. It's their Narendra Bhai. Like today, if you see the Gujarati local channels.
Vasudha, to add on to what exactly you are saying, I remember one of the rallies, Modi told all the people at the rally that when you go back, tell everybody you meet that तुम्हारा नरेंद्र भाई ने तुमको नमस्कार भेजा है, आपका नरेंद्र भाई ने आपको नमस्कार भेजा है, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने आपका भाई नरेंद्र मोदी. So that kind of a thing.
Yes, so that Apna Narendra Bhai is the headline today in all local TV channels, and he said for everybody else I'm the Vada Pradhan, but for you I'm Narendra Bhai, and I know that you have still not gotten water. I know that there are problems, but I'm here. I'm going to deliver it for you. So they see him as this custodian, this Rakshak, this protector, and their own guys sitting there. And more than that, he brings a lot of stability to the state. And for the BJP, the Gujarat model is a model of governance. It is the biggest validation of Prime Minister's way of work.
This is where I would like to come to Anshuman. Anshuman, I would like to understand this. Morbi happened. Congress, yes, it didn't have a huge state level strategy to battle the BJP. But still, there were enough reasons for it to drive home the fact that there is poor governance, there is certain bit of corruption, there is certain bit of lawlessness, there is certain bit of failures. Where did it all go wrong for Congress?
In Congress, there was no cohesiveness if we talk about campaign. Gahlot was made in charge, Raghu Sharma was in charge from previously, and everyone is working in their own pockets. Let me give you an example. Anand district has been with Congress for a long time, and BJP was not able to break the Congress dominance in the district since Madhav Singh Solanki days. It was a district of Madhav Singh Solanki. So since those days, Congress used to command. In the last election, 2017, Congress won 5 out of 7 seats in Anand. For the first time, BJP has cracked Anand. Out of 7 seats, BJP has won 6 seats this time, and only 1 seat Congress has won. Amit Chawla, the earlier Congress president of the state, he has won by barely 2,000 votes. So these were the strongholds of the Congress, which failed during this election, which shows you how BJP worked hard in order to get more votes, crack those areas where it was not very dominant. And because the Congress campaign was messing on the ground, there was no visibility. Candidates told me in Anand that they are campaigning on their own, they are working on their own, and local factors are working, but those local factors they did not help Congress at all. Like you mentioned Morbi, Morbi, BJP has no Morbi seat.
Yeah, this is where I think we need to ask Rakesh a few questions. Rakesh, the fact that C.R. Patil was not a big decision making factor in BJP Gujarat, fact that Amit Bhai Shah was ensuring that the granular detail to the last mile is worked out, and this kind of a result. How do you look at things from now in terms of BJP's long-term journey from here?
No, so it is a Narendra Modi, Amit Bhai show, but it's wrong to say that C.R. Patil did not have a say. He did his job, and that way in BJP it was very organized, and the jobs were allocated to all these leaders. In fact, Amit Bhai knew what he had to do, and C.R. Patil was, as party president, he had a role to play, and so they have played their assigned roles. BJP does not shy away from taking tough decisions to, correct the wrongs of the previous elections. Anything that is going against it, it is open to making those changes. As we have said earlier in our videos, 38 sitting MLAs were denied the ticket. Then in Morbi, the Congress defector who had won on a BJP ticket was denied a ticket this time, and one of the good Samaritans who worked in saving lives was
He
given the
probably
ticket.
also was the candidate last time.
Yeah, I think Vasudha can tell us more about that. But the thing is, BJP learned its lessons from the 2017 elections, where Congress had given it a scare, and by getting 77 seats. Of course, the disappointing thing here is from the analysis point of view, is that the Congress has actually not put up a fight, as Anshuman was saying and Vasudha was saying. I mean, a fall of 14% votes and losing 58 seats from 77 to 19 this time, that's a big fall. And as we've discussed, BJP getting 53% seats means BJP has actually gained at the expense of the Congress.
Yes.
And Aam Aadmi Party getting about 12.7%
Has also
votes,
eaten up that
or
kind
it
of
probably will go even further, is also at the expense of the Congress. So it is a Congress pie which is shrinking.
So here is a question to Anshuman and Nidhi. Anshuman, the fact that 53% of vote share for BJP this time means that Aam Aadmi Party eating into opposition vote and hence probably BJP winning, that story goes out of the window. What happens
Definitely.
to the fact that do you really see that there has been an anger against Congress because हम कांग्रेस को वोट देते हैं and वो बिक जाते हैं, kind of a thing? Has that been the situation on ground?
That nobody told me on the ground, but definitely at some places there was a kind of voter fatigue. They said that at some places you did find out that they were thinking that the opposition is not that strong in Gujarat and they need to be stronger. But if you see the voting percentage, we are talking about even in Lok Sabha election, BJP clocked more than 50% votes. So it's in the assembly election, BJP has just maintained that vote share, and that has translated into bigger election results for the BJP.
Which actually is a big thing, because Lok Sabha, getting 50% in Lok Sabha is understandable in Gujarat because it is Narendra Bhai all the way. But getting the same for assembly is also a big thing.
You know what? There is one thing that certainly there were 21 MLAs. Congress won 77 seats last time. 21 MLAs of Congress defected and joined BJP in due course of time till elections day. So that gives a message that the party is not credible, the candidate is not credible, and they can move from here to there. That was one thing that was visible on the ground. People are not very happy with that kind of thing. So in that scenario, people prefer to vote for the party which has worked. There was also some people said that if a new party comes to the government, BJP is there for long, so they understand the things. The government is working. A lot of development work will stop if some new party comes to the election. So they wanted the status quo, that जैसे चल रहा है, let वैसे चलने दो, BJP को वोट दो. So that was also there.
Here I would like
there was
to
another
bring
thing
in
that
Nidhi.
I would like to point out
Nidhi,
here,
yeah,
that
yeah.
there were a lot of voters, the core BJP voter. If you spoke to the core BJP voter, there was a sense of anti-incumbency, but at the same time, they could not bring themselves to vote against the BJP. So there were many, at least in the urban centers, who would tell you that we would prefer to vote. I mean, none of the above option, nota. So if you go back to 2017, it's very surprising. In 2017, the third largest party, if you really see, is no other party, but Nota got the third largest votes.
Yeah.
So what again would be interesting is the fine print of it. There is a certain fatigue that is there with the Congress and also within the Congress, not just with the voter, but within the Congress, that is showing in the results as well and in the voters' mind as well. When you
Nidhi,
actually
hold
go
your
and
thoughts
see
there. I
on the
would like to ask you this. I would really like to ask you this. That considering the fact that BJP's vote share has increased to 53%, within the opposition supported segment, Congress vote share comes down to 27% and Aam Aadmi Party's vote share goes to 12%. So do you think a certain bit of that segment which was voting for Congress and opposition segment for that matter, some part of it, Tina factor, goes to BJP, and
Yes.
the remaining a big chunk says that, okay, let's try out Aam Aadmi Party. Is that what has happened?
So this was the most watched out factor, Saurabh, because everywhere, if you actually see Aam Aadmi Party venturing into any state, one always watches whether it cuts into BJP's vote share or does it cut into Congress's vote share. Here, if you see, it's actually Gujarat is actually replicating what we saw in Delhi as well. Like it has completely, the model is they fight their first election, they're just sensing the ground, then they expand themselves, their cadre and everything on the ground, and then that their second election is to be watched out for, which is where they establish themselves as the number one opposition party. This is exactly what had happened in Delhi, and now it could happen because anything that you are seeing right now is a plus for the Aam Aadmi Party. They contested 2017 to gauge where they stood. 29 candidates were fielded in 2017. They got less than 1% vote. And now they're actually looking at a national tag if they win, say, more than 6% votes in, say, 4 state assemblies. So this is their target. You see, it's like a well-planned strategy that they come with. They
Before,
obliterate the Congress in
yeah,
the state.
yeah. So, uh, one, so it's probably the second last question of this session. One, this thing that probably after this election result, Aam Aadmi Party emerges as a national party. What does this mean? I think we'll start with Nidhi and then go on to Anshuman and others, because there have been a lot of such single individual led parties which went on to become national parties. But then what happened? Nidhi, how do you look at it?
See, I think that Aam Aadmi Party cannot be likened to any other party right now. If you see any other regional party, so to speak, and any other personality-driven party, we've seen in Orissa, in West Bengal, they've remained in one state. And now, when we see Aam Aadmi Party, they've actually gone beyond one state. And many political analysts actually liken it to, really speaking, Congress has two governments in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan full-fledged. They're supporting the one in Jharkhand. But if you see, even the Aam Aadmi Party has two governments in two states, right? So if you really see that, where does Congress stand? So Aam Aadmi Party, I think the attempt is that they've set their sight not on 2024, but on 2029.
Here
That's the
is,
target.
yeah, right. So here is my question to Anshuman. Aam Aadmi Party, new kid on the block, or one sad example was BSP, which had a single identity, a single leader-led party, which reached up to national level and then probably has fizzled out. How do you look at Aam Aadmi Party?
Look, definitely, in the states, if you see the way Aam Aadmi Party has been fighting different elections, what UP elections to, what Uttarakhand elections to, Himachal also, they were there, there was high-pitched campaign after Punjab that they'll do well in Himachal Pradesh, but all of a sudden, they wrapped up their campaign for Himachal and shifted to Gujarat. Wherever there is a weaker opposition, and by weaker opposition here I mean Congress, wherever their Congress is the main opposition, Aam Aadmi Party is looking at it as an opening for themselves, because Congress has also a credibility factor, the perception factor going against them. And despite the Bharat Jodo Yatra and all these things, Congress really needs to change this perception that, हमारी जीत के फिर बीजेपी में चले जाएंगे. That is the biggest perception against Congress in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, anywhere. That's why if whenever election happens, the Congress MLAs are taken to hotels, and even right now, Bhupesh Baghel has just said that Himachal MLAs will be taken to some place. That is the credibility factor. Kejriwal encashes that factor, tries to make a mark in the states where there is no regional party, where there is direct contest between BJP and Congress. And definitely some part of the opposition get attracted towards Kejriwal because he has been running a government in Delhi for the second time. He recently won Punjab. He is also trying to get some foothold in Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat now, 3 to 4 seats, whatever he gets, more than 10% vote share. In Goa, he got 1 MLA. So he is trying definitely in the states. And you see, in UP, there are stronger regional parties. In Bihar, there are stronger regional parties. There, it is finding it difficult. But definitely, Aam Aadmi Party will try hard to make a mark in the states where there is a direct contest between Congress and the BJP. Their only aim now is to replace Congress as the main opposition across the country. Currently, they also run government in 2 states. Congress has also government in 2 states. Now with Himachal, Congress will get government in 3 states. They are becoming a national party because of the vote share. So definitely, their attempt will be to grab that vote share, which is against the BJP.
My last question, as we wrap up this wonderful discussion session. BJP is a party which talks of Hindutva, which talks of a certain kind of an ideology, and also talks of development and politics of deliverables. And that is why you see BJP expanding in a particular way. On the other hand, you have an example of Congress, which talks of politics of ideology, which talks of Vanvasi versus Adivasi, which talks of Savarkar versus Gandhi and things like that. And you also have a person like Arvind Kejriwal, who talks of ideology chodo ji, we are the cleanest kids on the block, and we are talking of politics of deliverables, politics of pragmatism. In this kind of a scenario, what do you think is going to be the big opposition for BJP in run-up to 2024?
So in 2023, we have elections in states where BJP and Congress will be in a direct contest. In Karnataka, of course, JDS is also there, but in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, it will be a direct contest between the Congress and the BJP.
Yes.
And Aam Aadmi Party, as other panelists have said, it's more of an ideology agnostic party. It doesn't really stick to one particular. It's not left leaning or centrist or right wing. Kejriwal, the similarities between BJP, there are some. What BJP calls freebies, Arvind Kejriwal says these are welfare measures. Then Aam Aadmi Party is also a one-person driven party. In Punjab, for example, it was the candidates' pictures were not there. It was Kejriwal and the Delhi model. So BJP talks about the Gujarat model. BJP talks about banks on Narendra Modi to win elections. Aam Aadmi Party has done the similar thing and has tried to sell the Delhi model of governance, which has served well in the MCD elections we've seen yesterday. So 2024, maybe Aam Aadmi Party would be the third front kind of thing, but then Congress will have to see whether it sinks further or whether it will be able to hold ground, especially in South and in some of the
Congress
states.
Is able to control or check its erosion.
Slide,
Yeah. Anshuman, how do you look at it?
The entire opposition game from here onwards is, there are different state elections coming at which Rakesh talked about, and definitely their win or lose will matter because both the parties, either BJP or Congress or others, will play it as, semi-final or quarter-final to the 2024 elections. The entire opposition game lies in, they want to make it a state election rather than giving it a national perspective so that, they need some figure to present that this person will fight against Modi or this person will be the face against Modi. They are more interested in making it a state-to-state fight because that helps them. If they say, every state, Mamata Banerjee will lead in West Bengal, Sharad Pawar and other team, Uddhav Thackeray and Congress leaders will lead in Maharashtra, Nitish in Bihar, Akhilesh in Uttar Pradesh. So their strategy would be to, try to make it give hold to those state-based leaders, so that they come on. But definitely their game plan depends on two factors. One, how Congress does in Lok Sabha elections going forward. Congress has 55 seats right now. And second, how does Kejriwal perform, Aam Aadmi Party perform going forward from here? How does they take it? Are they able to take up to their opposition fold? Because there will be a lot of fight for the face. Who will be the face against Modi? And definitely BJP will try to put up that question that we have Modi and there is no other face.
Going
so right
forward,
now,
as you said, how AAP takes things ahead. Nidhi, your take.
So, Saurabh, 1.5 years is a very long time in politics. We have 18 months to go. As both Rakesh and Anshuman said, we have many elections to go for. But how do they play it? at present, and every time before a parliamentary election, we see that the opposition is very fragmented. They try and come together. 18, 19 regional parties try and come together, and always they find a way not to be together when it comes to fighting an Lok Sabha election. So I think again that it becomes a very regional fight. But at the same time, you have we can't discount the fact that Rahul Gandhi is actually on a yatra which is supposed to repackage the party, and even galvanize the cadres. So you cannot discount that as a factor, and you can actually see the BJP also squirming in its seat when it sees that there is some kind of traction to that Bharat Jodo Yatra. How
Adding to
much can
this,
it actually? So you did feel the ripple effect in Gujarat. People, the youngsters specifically, were talking about Bharat Jodo Yatra, and I even heard youngsters in Rajkot actually saying, "Ab Rahul Gandhi badal gaya hai." But how, when you ask them badal gaya hai, probably they were talking about an option being given to them. So you would see, if you travel on the ground, you would see that it has had an impact. How much, we don't know. 1.5 years is a very long time.
but do
How
you
they play
see
it
Aam
depends
Aadmi
on how
Party,
the parties play.
Nidhi, do you see Aam Aadmi Party contesting Rajasthan or Karnataka or any such other state?
Absolutely. Take it from me, Saurabh, you would see Karnataka. I mean, both the parties have, both the states, the party has already started building up its, cadre there. How much can it do it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and watch, but it has 1 year for Rajasthan, another 9 months for Karnataka. If we actually see that, uh, absolutely, you'll see them doing what they did in Gujarat. You'll
Vasudha,
absolutely see that.
Vasudha, your thoughts on going forward? How do you look at the opposition space building?
I'll just tell you about Gujarat. Like, Vadodara is being built as a smart city, okay? And BJP says that there is no bijli sadak pani ka issue in Gujarat, but there are actually areas which have this pani ka issue, and pani is a big thing. Anshuman also wrote about this in his copy. Patan, Banaskantha, there is actually water issues. So it's only basically Aam Aadmi Party which is talking about these practical issues of price rise or availability of clean drinking water. I mean, it's quite amazing that a city is being developed as a smart city, and there are old parts of the city which don't even have access to clean drinking water. So it's Aam Aadmi Party which is bringing up these issues, but they have to do it consistently. They have to optimize on their strengths, like BJP does. BJP has its factors like election management, Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, C.R. Patil. So they optimize on those factors. I did not see the Congress doing that. Congress is basically relying on its own voter base. The Dalits are going to vote for us, the OBC are going to vote for us, but that is sort of living in delusion, because these voters are also moving away because they have real issues, they have practical issues, and they are finally finding somebody who is articulating them in a better way. So I do see the Aam Aadmi Party, and it's also, Arvind Kejriwal spoke about Ajmer Sharif and all in Delhi polls, right? But he did not talk about it in Gujarat polls at all. He said that I'll take you to only Ram Mandir, right? So there is a lot of fluidity in the ideology when it comes to Hindutva. So that is going to work in advantage of Aam Aadmi Party, especially in a state like Gujarat.
But what probably comes out from this is, number one, BJP is here to stay to give the big fight to everybody around. In each of these regions or states, there might be different players, but these different players are also trying to eat up onto each other's space because they all want to emerge as the opposition number one. And how this pans out from here, it's only time that is going to tell us how things will happen.
Yeah, so the voter is very wise. The voter is looking for options, but then when there is no credible option, as our previous speakers have said, it goes back to the BJP. The momentum that Congress had built in 2017 in Gujarat, it has frittered it away.
Yeah.
And so the credibility issue that Anshuman was talking about, and others have also spoken, that is a big factor. And Congress will have to, Congress has done well in states where it put up a good fight. in states where regional parties are strong, Aam Aadmi Party is not getting traction. Whether it's
Yeah,
Tamil Nadu,
so
whether
it's-
it is
or even
UP,
Telangana, or for the
yeah,
contrary, other
or
states.
even Congress in Himachal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aam Aadmi Party did not get any traction there.
It's basically spaces where the opposition is
Yeah, so-
not effective or efficient is where Aam
Yeah,
Aadmi
so
Party
the
is getting.
non-BJP space is up for grabs. Aam Aadmi Party is doing well in states where the Congress is losing ground, and in other states, it's the regional party which puts up a fight.
Yes.
Now, as far as the big picture is concerned, in 2024, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
As Nidhi said, 18 months is
Yeah,
a long time.
yeah.
A lot of churning is going to take place.
Yeah.
The assembly election results in these six states
in the next year to
2023,
come, yeah.
that will also have an impact to some extent,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
way
indeed,
2024 plays out.
Yes.
As of now, of course, BJP is strongly placed.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, Rakesh. Thanks,
Thank you.
Anshuman, Nidhi, and Vasudha for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for watching this live discussion. Watch this space for more of such videos. Thank you.